energy and the capacity of all the parliaments of the SADC.
Permettra de libérer les potentiels existants
It will allow us to use the available qualities that we have on the market.
dans la région de nous tenir debout
so that we can get up
et de produire notre propre énergie.
and produce our own energy.
Cet idéal énergétique,
And this ideal energy
ambitieux et promoteur,
that will help us to be ambitious and to promote
nos réflexions et
able to use our capacity and come up with ideas that we can suggest to our governments.
de lois qui permettent d'exploiter les énergies renouvelables.
That can allow them
Remercie de toute votre attention.
I want to thank you for your attention
Souhaite plein succès à notre symposium.
and I wish all the success to our symposium.
Je vous remercie.
Thank you so much, Honorable President, for setting the tone. Symposium for this afternoon. Honorable delegates, it is now my singular honor to introduce to you the session chair of the symposium. This is nobody else other than the Minister of Energy, Honorable Ibrahim Matora. Honorable Minister, thank you so much. Minister has been a member of Parliament for 10 years, from 2004 all the way up to 2014 in Malawi National Assembly. On a sabbatical leave, because we hope that you come back anytime when you wish. During that time, when he was the member of Parliament, so they had also served in cabinets. First, he was appointed as Minister of Resources. After some time, he was appointed full Minister of Energy. That's why he stayed longer there as a minister up to the time when he on sabbatical leave. Now he has been reappointed in the current government, also as a Minister of Energy. So that's in brief, that's what I just wanted to mention about him. He'll be moderating the sessions in which we have got 3 presenters. I also introduced them so that I should lessen the burden on the minister. The first presenter is Mr. Joseph Karoikamo. You please just stand so that the delegation can see you. Mr. Karoikamo is the current acting director of energy affairs in the Ministry of Energy in Malawi. He is an expert in the energy sector. He has been in this sector so far about over 20 years experience, especially on the electricity, renewable energy, and liquid fuels and gas industries. Mr. Karoikamo is a mechanical engineer by profession. The second presenter because I just to introduce all of them. Patrick, Mr. Patrick Adewa. He is also an expert. He has got the Masters in Business Administration, but also is the BSc Engineering from the University of Malawi. He is also a registered engineer with the Malawi Board of Engineers and a member of the Institute of Electrical Technology. He also has vast experience in the energy sector as well. Then the third presenter is Mr. Sosten Chigalu. Again, Mr. Chigalu is currently the president, the president of the president and board chairperson of the Renewable Energy Industrial Association of Malawi, RIEMA. He's a volunteer and a profit member organization, but also he has got vast experience on matters of energy. So in brief, honorable delegates, honorable president of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, let me now hand over the mantle to the session chair to invite each one of the presenters to make presentation in a row. After the presentation of the three of them, as I said, he is going to also direct or moderate the into country experiences. Then we go into plenary. I am also advised, honorable delegates, that the honorable president will be taking leave shortly. So, honorable president, says not now, but I think in the course of the discussion, I think he may wish. He may.
Merci beaucoup de fructueux débat.
Thank you so much for this fruitful debate.
Positif pour nos États.
And we expect positive results for our.
Merci de votre compréhension.
For that reason, I have and I thank you for your understanding.
Merci.
Thank you.
Again, good afternoon. As president of the SADC Parliamentary
Le
Forum,
vice-président du Forum de SADC,
Honorable Yarovana,
honorable Firovana,
Right Honorable Catherine Gotani Hara,
Honorable
distinguished speakers and heads of delegation from member
les invités du
SADC Parliamentary Forum,
forum parlementaire de la CEDEAO.
Senator Chief
Honorable
Fortune
chef du Sénat,
Charumbira, President Martin Karoli Ngoga, Speaker of the East African
Caroline
Senator Edwin Mevin Snowy Jr. MCD Mohammed Tunis,
qui
Speaker of
représente
ECOWAS
les
Parliament,
honorables,
Secretary General of the SADC Parliamentary Forum,
le secrétaire général
Comeo.
du
Excellency Omar Estino Moratino,
son excellence,
Ambassador of Venezuela of the Republic of Namibia,
de
ex and Secretary General of Member Parliaments,
mesdames les secrétaires de
distinguished observers,
les observateurs distingués,
staff, other peers,
membres des
and all staff of member
membres du forum
parliaments,
parlementaire de la CEDEAO,
distinguished presenters,
les distingués présidents.
greatly honored
Je suis
to
très honoré
chair and moderate deliberations at this
de
symposium,
modérer les délibérations de cette symposium.
whose theme is towards energy
dont le thème
efficiency,
vers l'efficience, l'efficacité
sustainability,
énergétique,
sustainability, and self-sufficiency in the SADC region.
ainsi que l'autosuffisance dans la région du Sahel.
Symposium
Ce symposium
could not have come at a better time like this one.
est venu après un moment.
As you are all aware, the
Comme-
SADC region
Comme vous le savez, la région de Sahel
is threatened with energy insecurity
est menacée par l'insécurité énergétique
owing to several reasons.
pour plusieurs raisons.
The major ones at the moment
Le plus
being
grande
the
pour le moment
overdependence on fossil fuels for electricity generation,
est la dépendance sur
of oil and petroleum products,
l'importation des carburants
and the Russia-Ukraine
ainsi que
crisis.
l'impact de la crise Russie
We
Ukraine.
have all witnessed the impact of power deficits
Nous
and
avons,
skyrocketing of the fuel prices in the SADC region.
nous avons
of
été
late.
tous témoins de la carence en
There are technocrats in SADC member states
il y a des technocrates dans les États membres de la SADC
that are working at both national and regional levels
qui
on
travaillent
fixing
durement
these
sur le
challenges,
niveau national et régional pour amender à cette crise.
guided by several instruments that have been developed,
Guidés par les éléments différents qui ont été développés
also at national and regional levels,
sur le niveau local ainsi que
legislative and non-legislative.
les législatives et non législatives.
Let me quote what is being said that is from an up. Most of the leaders quote,
Laissez-moi vous donner une dicton qui vient d'un pays africain.
Madame Hillary Clinton said,
Une fois, Madame Hillary Clinton a dit,
and I quote,
je cite,
if you want to go fast,
si vous voulez aller plus vite,
go alone.
pas seul.
But if you want to go far,
Mais si vous voulez aller loin,
go together.
vous devez aller marchant ensemble.
We have heard today,
Et aujourd'hui, nous avons vu que
Monsieur le Président, saying that,
l'a répété.
and I quote,
Que je vais encore citer.
leaving no agree with me that energy security is of concern.
Vous serez d'accord avec moi que le souci
As a SADC PF because of its link with democratization.
à cause de son
Sufficient affects citizens of our constituencies.
la suffisance en énergie qui représente
Citizens and constituencies.
les circonscriptions ainsi que leur peuple.
We have a critical role to some issues that affect our citizens.
Nous avons une question importante à résoudre.
Constituencies, including energy security issues.
Dans nos circonscriptions, nous devons aussi voir les questions qui ont
Parliamentarians,
États membres du Parlement.
we are there to enact legislation,
Nous sommes là pour ériger des législations,
deliberate on budget,
délibérer sur le budget
and play in oversight.
et jouer le rôle de supervision.
And play an oversight role for developments in the energy sector.
Jouer un rôle de supervision dans le développement
Security,
parlant de la sécurité d'énergie,
sustainability,
sa durabilité
and self-sufficiency.
et l'autosuffisance.
As parliaments,
Étant Parlement,
we are there to provide guidance to our respective executive arms of governments.
nous sommes là que pour apporter de l'aide.
It is for this reason
C'est pour cette raison
that I earlier on said
que, comme j'ai déjà mentionné en préambule,
that this symposium
ce
could not
symposium
have come at a better time than now,
est venu à bon point,
where these issues are visibly affecting the SADC region,
où ces enjeux affectent la région de la SADC,
our respective countries,
nos pays respectifs,
and our own citizens in our respective
et qui
constituencies.
plus est, le peuple dans nos circonscriptions respectives.
Has already been said
Nous avons déjà beaucoup parlé
by the SADC PF president
par le président du Forum de la SADC
in his opening remarks
dans ses remarques d'ouverture
for these symposium.
pour ce symposium.
So without further ado,
Sans ajouter beaucoup,
allow me,
permettez-moi,
honorable speakers of national assemblies,
honorables membres des assemblées nationales,
honorable parliament,
les honorables membres du Parlement,
and invited participants,
ainsi que les invités, les participants invités,
to go straight into our main agenda for this symposium,
d'aller directement dans notre titre principal,
which is to deliberate and make recommendations
ainsi nous serons invités de délibérer et faire
matters relating to energy security,
sur les enjeux connexes à la sécurité énergétique,
sustainability, and self-sufficiency in the SADC region.
ainsi que l'autosuffisance dans la région de
Juncture,
Sur ce point,
let me invite our resource persons
c'est mon honneur d'inviter le chargé des ressources
presentations in line with the theme of the symposium.
pour faire les présentations qui ont connexes au thème.
Set the tone
Cela mettra la voix
and form the basis, deliberations, and the recommendations.
et nous donnerons le
Earlier introduced,
comme déjà dit dans le préambule.
let me call upon
C'est l'honneur d'inviter
Mr. Joseph Kalowekamo,
M. Joseph Kaluatana,
the director, acting director of energy affairs in the Ministry of Energy.
dans le ministère de l'Énergie.
Second one,
Le deuxième,
Second one is Mr. Patrick Kadewa,
Le suivant sera Monsieur Patrick Kadewa,
Director of Electrical and Renewable Energy in the Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority. In brief, third one is Mr. Sosten Chigalu,
la troisième personne, c'est Monsieur Sosten Chibalou,
President Association of Malawi.
Association de Malawi.
Yeah, man. Balance. But we have engineers who are also female
toutes ces représentations
in the energy sector.
Mais je peux vous assurer que nous avons des femmes capables dans nos
departments. Also in the mirror, the regulator, we have also heads, directors who are female.
dans le département d'énergie dans le
Seeing circumstances which are taking place globally,
ou des événements imprévus. Déjà présent.
Going again.
you, Joseph Kaloka.
Vous avez la parole, Monsieur.
Any?
See, we are telling to him that
nous n'avons pas l'habilité.
some good graphs that provided the more
Fait la présentation sur la sécurité de l'énergie,
energy efficiency,
cité,
energy sustainability,
ainsi que la durabilité de l'énergie.
good to note that
Il est important de noter que
the president preempted our presentation and also the session chair.
c'est important de noter que la SADC nous a donné, aussi a rendu notre vie facile,
So quickly going on the issue of security, energy security,
allant directement sur la sécurité.
at the center stage of economic security,
Nous avons trouvé que la sécurité énergétique est au centre même de la sécurité économique,
environmental security,
la sécurité environnementale.
as alluded to by the session chair.
Comme déjà fait référence par
Sources
la carence de ces ressources
and the increasing prices is a say there is energy insecurity in the SADC region.
en général, nous pouvons dire qu'il y a on revient à trois volets. Il y a la sécurité de gestion, l'énergie.
Now, if you look at the SADC region, you see that it is well blessed with renewable.
Dans la région de la SADC, nous voyons que nous sommes bénis. Nous avons a une grande ressource à niveau énergie.
Botswana, Zimbabwe,
Il y a aussi l'Afrique du Sud, une partie de Botswana.
source.
Ils ont aussi les ressources énergétiques. Le problème est que toutes ces ressources ne sont pas exploitées pour la production. Ça nous demanderait d'améliorer notre marché.
Cost savings and also in the electricity sector.
Aussi longtemps que nous sommes dans
Sources, we need to have regional integration.
pour tirer pour prendre avantage de la carence en énergie
And reduce the regard
dans cet égard.
the SADC protocol on energy
That's the
have not brought the much change we were all looking for in the region.
finally. Get me lucky. Let's keep for
Et de se focaliser sur les relations internationales.
So as a result,
Il y a un problème, un défi.
which is not in line with the SADC protocol.
La quantité de l'énergie renouvelable que nous pouvons produire dans notre pays.
Similarly with the liquid fuels and gas, which is supposed to be used for cooking and heating.
Vous allez trouver que l'usage de ces produits sont trop bas dans cette région. De femmes dans la production du carburant liquide ainsi que comme nous avons aussi la responsabilité de production de table de quitter, permettez-moi de m'arrêter là.
Like I said, we're going to share our
Si à travers le président de la session, permettez-moi d'inviter mon collègue Patrick. que l'énergie, l'efficacité de l'énergie.
It is an innovative way
Nous vous encourageons de réduire l'usage d'énergie pour minimiser à l'effet de serre.
to build power stations a long time. These are generation power stations.
Pour construire une station
Customers from existing
l'efficacité de ces ressources, c'est d'avoir la
expenditure. We are encouraged to be standards that should incorporate energy efficient measures.
élaborer les mesures qui prennent en compte le coût de l'énergie.
Reduction measures and implement what we call demand
Dans l'usage de l'énergie.
again policies and
C'est que les législations
must incentivize energy efficiency
actes qui utilisent pour l'usage effectif de l'énergie. À une branche qui produit dans la région de SADC qui ces interventions encouragent les États membres de la région d'adopter de l'énergie.
create policies, strategies, plans,
Ainsi que le plan
and some other frameworks efficient investment.
et d'autres cadres qui encouragent l'investissement dans l'énergie renouvelable.
And is also aimed at attracting private sector participation in financing for renewable energy and energy efficient projects.
Les réfrigérateurs ainsi que le climatiseur.
coming up
Ainsi qu'à évaluer l'efficacité de production de l'énergie. Passe par les voitures ainsi que hydro.
it refers to use of less energy
Cela fait référence c'est donc quel est le rôle des parlementaires dans la promotion de l'efficacité
direct participation of citizens
parle de la promotion ainsi que des législations qui soient très efficaces et avec la mobilisation du public.
appropriate
session chair,
le président de la séance
and all,
et tous les délégués ici présents.
and all protocol. Short, and my presentation will be short too.
Je m'excuse, vous voyez que je suis trop petit. C'est pour vous dire que ma présentation sera aussi petite.
President Nelson Mandela has said, and I quote,
Le président Nelson Mandela a dit, et je vais citer,
"Always seems impossible until it's done."
ça paraît toujours impossible jusqu'à ce que c'est fait.
It is a very special occasion that we talk about energy in the SADC region.
Donc, pour nous, c'est une occasion très spéciale pour débattre de l'énergie dans la région de la SADC.
Security as we face, one day they will all be gone.
Et toutes les insécurités dont nous faisons face,
SADC region,
la région de la SADC,
as already said, has got insecurity because mostly we rely on burning coal.
comme déjà mentionné, nous avons l'insécurité.
Now is an exception with 90% power generation from renewable sources, water and solar energy.
Je sais que Malawi fait l'exception parce que nous avons 90.
States can follow suit.
J'espère que d'autres États membres pourront.
This made been possible.
C'est rendu possible.
The Malawi government has removed VAT and duty taxes on solar technologies and other renewable.
Parce que le gouvernement du Malawi a enlevé toutes les taxes ainsi que les droits.
9 months or so,
Dans les 9 mois passés,
Malawi has launched 80 megawatts of solar PV power.
Malawi a lancé une plante de valable de 9 kilowatts. Mégawatt, je m'excuse.
Regionally,
Sur le plan régional,
energy has become a blunt.
le besoin de l'énergie
It is owing to climate change, global commitments like
Cela-
Paris Agreement and COP26.
Cela, c'est à cause du changement climatique, l'accord de Paris.
Therefore, SADC member states
Pour cela, les États membres de la SADC
should also consider the technical limitations to variable renewable energy sources due to instability challenges.
devraient aussi considérer des degrés de
Say,
cela veut dire
energy transition in the SADC
la transition de l'énergie dans les SADC
sustainable manner.
devrait être gérée d'une manière technique. La durabilité des gaz ainsi que la stabilité.
States should take advantage to do
Les États membres
to supplement liquid and fuel gases.
peuvent utiliser éthanol ainsi que d'autres.
This is the best time for the member states
Je pense qu'il est bon temps pour tous les États membres
to put up policies for investing in electrical vehicle infrastructure.
de développer les politiques pour investir dans
Cutting issues.
les questions qui nous touchent tous.
Very important that SADC parliamentarians
Il est très important que le forum des parlementaires de la
promote civil society participation in energy matters.
devrait promouvoir la participation.
Malawi,
Par exemple, ici au Malawi,
Reyama, we work
very hand in hand with the Malawi government on energy matters. SACRI, which falls under SADC,
Nous parlons aussi de SACRI, ce qui est une branche de la
working closely with the National Industry Association on energy matters.
travaille aussi très étroitement avec
Cutting matters.
Nous ne pouvons pas parler de l'énergie sans parler de questions qui nous touchent.
I'd like to highlight this and very important replacement.
Et parmi ces questions les plus importantes, je vais souligner
Gender mainstreaming.
l'intégration des gens.
Women are the most affected in energy poverty.
Les femmes sont les plus affectées dans la.
Therefore, women must be put at the center of energy policy formulation
Pour cette question, les femmes devraient être les points forts dans le développement des politiques qui ont lié à l'énergie
and implementation in SADC member states.
et dans la mise en œuvre dans tous les États membres de la SADC.
Youth empowerment.
Le renforcement des jeunesses.
SADC member state population is youth dominated.
Tous les États membres de la SADC sont dominés par la jeunesse.
Therefore, the youth must be trained and equipped with knowledge and skills to manage our energy resources.
Pour cela, les jeunesses devraient être équipées avec les habilités et les capacités pour
Job creation.
la création d'emplois
Energy sector,
dans le secteur de l'énergie,
especially the renewable energy sector,
surtout dans le secteur de l'énergie renouvelable.
has potential for massive job creation.
Nous avons le potentiel de création d'emplois très massifs.
Adoption of renewable energy,
L'adoption de l'énergie renouvelable,
energy efficiency,
l'efficacité de l'énergie,
has potential to create more jobs for environmental sustainability.
la durabilité de l'environnement.
It is very important
Il est aussi important
to mitigate climate change
de mitiger le changement climatique
in order to preserve our energy resources for the current and future generations.
pour sauvegarder la production de l'énergie.
I'd like to call upon all parliamentarians
Je voudrais appeler tous les parlementaires ici présents
that when you go back to your respective constituencies,
et quand vous serez de retour dans votre circonscription respective,
engage the grassroots,
engagez vos bases,
the women,
les femmes,
the youth,
les jeunes,
and all the disadvantaged populations
ainsi que toute la population défavorisée.
that will inform proactive policy priorities and implementation plans.
Et nous devrons à former des politiques.
Thank you for your attention.
Pour cela, je voudrais vous remercier pour votre attention.
Statement is that there's need for the SADC region to increase SADC region is going to commission about 16.5 it's going to be achieved in the coming 1 year now remaining?
Maintenant,
And probably the last thing I can say is that let's call upon those countries
en profiter.
as part of the regional integration we were talking about.
C'est important.
SADC PF president,
Le vice-président du Fonds de nos ingénieurs qui ont fait la présentation ici.
Is, as we are aware that Angola attending
Et je vais appeler les délégations des pays qui sont déjà prêtes.
country, I'll be giving 5 minutes for for their presentation. Botswana,
Je commence par inviter le Parlement de Botswana.
Botswana.
Vous avez
Thank
la
you, sir.
parole, Botswana.
As already stated by the three gentlemen presenters, supply of power.
Nous allons parler de la carence.
We have a national energy policy
Nous avons aussi
which has just been passed by on our neighbors
nous
for the
dépendons
supply of power.
de nos voisins, la production.
Problem as I see it,
Le problème que nous avons,
have been relying on the use of coal to produce
nous
power,
sommes heureux de la dépendance sur le charbon,
and yet we have not developed the technology to clean the coal to avoid
maintenant nous avons
Oui.
besoin des technologies
In fact,
qui
limited. That's a very long way off. However, have
Nous avons
lots of sunshine for solar power.
nous avons le soleil
Three areas in Botswana
et nous avons 3 régions en Botswana
where we can develop solar power.
où nous pouvons développer
And from what the experts have just told us,
les plantes solaires.
if it were possible to relax the
Yes.
taxation
S'il est possible pour nous d'avoir le succès,
on those gadgets which we need to produce solar power,
c'est gadget que nous devons,
that's an area we could go into fruitfully.
cela,
Of course, in SADC, my worry has been that we do not seem to have a planning right at the SADC level.
étant SADC,
Each country is planning by
nous
itself.
n'avons pas vraiment ce plan
Then we attempt the power pool
de SADC où nous
so that if you have enough, you can then share with your neighbors.
adhérer tous à un plan où nous avons
To move on to establish a parliament for SADC, I think we should also start
ici
planning at that level
en place. C'est là
For the
que
country.
nous devons
so that those who are
de la SADC
able to produce efficiently
pour que nous puissions être en mesure de
can concentrate
de
and share.
produire les politiques ainsi que produire des
Out of our energy policy, recently was that those who can produce solar energy as individuals should be allowed to do so
donc
and sell the excess.
les producteurs
the
individuels
grid.
d'énergie devraient aussi fournir l'excès.
I'm not sure if that's going to work because
Je ne sais pas
it's
si
a
ça
new thing.
va marcher parce que c'est quelque chose de
There are not many Botswana who are able to produce at the household level
je ne sais pas si nous serons en mesure de produire à ce niveau.
sufficient power to be able to sell to the grid, to be able to say now Botswana is self-sufficient. I can't see it, especially that if you want to develop the economy,
autosuffisant.
you have to do much more than that. But the
Nous savons
policy is
que
there.
pour être autosuffisant, nous devons faire plus que ça.
It remains to be seen if we can efficiently implement it.
Nous devons aussi en faire.
Share. We don't have, of course, water, unlike Malawi.
Regarde, le Soto,
In our neighborhood, but they have the
sont les pays
yes. We are yet to find out how much really. Our guess, of course, is open to us to go into. But these are areas, Chair, that we haven't
nous avons l'opportunité.
really explored. They are in the policy, but we have not explored them.
Je pense qu'il y a dans ça s'explique dans nos politiques.
Thank you very much, Botswana, also for
Merci beaucoup.
being on time.
Botswana aussi.
On the regional integration
Nous avons besoin d'augmenter.
and there is an opportunity of power trading
Il y a aussi
within
l'opportunité
the
de
region.
commerce.
Call upon the Parliament of DRC,
Maintenant, il est temps
5 minutes.
le Parlement de la République démocratique du Congo. Vous avez 5
So much, Minister of Energy, who is our
Merci beaucoup, le ministre
moderator.
de l'énergie.
I was so excited to hear our
Je suis
people
très ému
presentation, which was so good.
d'apprendre
But I want to introduce you to
la
how
présentation.
renewable energy in Congo looks like.
Et maintenant, je
Looks
voudrais cette
so
question de
expensive.
l'énergie renouvelable. comparé à
If
notre
you
budget.
take like a solar panel,
Si on peut
to
prendre
make
des
it
panneaux
happen is, you will find out that it's so expensive.
Vous allez
We do
trouver que
have
le
also
coût est très élevé.
a huge river, Congo River,
Nous
that
avons
goes
une
from
grande rivière, le fleuve Congo,
southeast going up north and
Et par du côté
southwest as well, which is able
sud-est vers le
to provide electricity throughout sometimes Africa. But
qui a
it's
la capacité de
also
produire de l'énergie à-
expensive to get it done unless we can
Ça coûte
be
trop cher pour la
um,
production.
able to network with
Nous ne sommes pas
those who will be part of that we can.
nous apporterons de l'aide.
And again, the insecurity in our country
Encore l'insécurité dans notre pays
does not allow us
ne nous permet pas
to be stable and
d'être
think forward so that
stable
we
et
can develop, our country in such a way
de
that
penser
we need.
comment nous pouvons développer notre
So
pays de la
my
manière
advice is that if you are living in a fortunate country,
mon conseil que si
which
vous
is
vivez
wealthy,
dans un
you need
pays
to be also ready to face a lot of challenges.
qui est
And
riche,
this
mais
is what
nous
we
avons
are
face à
facing in.
nous
hope
avons des problèmes
that
avec
we
notre
can
pays.
follow a serious
C'est notre
that enable
des politiques qui
that the renewal. Even
Energias
for the heavy
renováveis.
forests in Congo,
nous avons des
we
Nós
can
temos
also
florestas densas no
provide
Congo
those kind of things.
qui pourraient nous aider.
e
But the
podemos
policy,
proporcionar
environment,
isso,
the
mas a
policy
política
sometimes
ambiental
holds us back, not
muitas
also to do
vezes faz-nos
things
regredir
the way we wish we
Nous
could do.
empêche
e
d'aller
não
de
podemos
l'avant.
fazer as
So,
coisas como nós gostaríamos de
To
fazer.
be brief, this is what
Para
we are
ser breve,
facing there in terms of
isto é o que nós temos
energy.
estado
I
a
appreciate
enfrentar
speakers
no
who say that
cômputo
we
de
need to get
energia.
involved the women because they are
Eu
important
concordo
in
quando
this
diz que nós temos
process.
que envolver as
The
mulheres
youth
porque elas são
also,
importantes
I
neste
think that's
processo.
really
Os
critical
jovens
and we
também,
need
eu
to
penso que isso
see
é
to it.
extremamente
Thank you
crítico.
so much.
Muito
Il est
obrigado.
nécessaire aussi d'avoir des femmes qui travaillent sur la production de l'énergie. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much. Dedication from Congo.
Muito
Indeed,
obrigado.
Merci beaucoup.
we don't need
ao
to work in
Congo.
isolation.
Não devemos
Energy
trabalhar
is
de
the
forma
drive of the
isolada.
economy.
Energia é o vetor do desenvolvimento e da
I
economia.
really concur with you what you have said
Eu
because you have
concordo
the most important project which can be taken on a regional level, the INGA project. We've been talking about INGA for a long time. Time has come that the region should take full and head on this project INGA because it will cover the whole southern part of Africa, the resources which you have in Congo. Political will and the parliamentarians is very important.
La volonté politique.
Swatini,
Maintenant, il est temps d'inviter M. Swatini. Vous avez 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chair,
Merci
All
beaucoup,
the-
Président.
and all protocol observed.
Tous les protocoles observés.
Mr. Chairman, let me start with the energy efficiency and sustainability. The Kingdom of Eswatini has developed and adopted the energy efficiency
Le Royaume de Swatini a adopté la stratégie de l'efficacité.
and conservation policy in 2019,
Cela a été en 2019.
as well as the National Energy Efficiency Strategy
C'est de la stratégie de l'efficacité de
and
l'énergie.
action plan governments in
Le,
partnership with a number of stakeholders,
le gouvernement en partenariat avec
both in
d'autres
the public and private
acteurs
steps,
privés ont pris
was the establishment of the
un pas
Eswatini
significatif dans les
Agency for Sustainable
Dans-
Energy, aligned with the energy efficiency
dans
policy
l'efficacité de
as
l'énergie.
well as the strategy. Help to capitalize
Qui va nous aider à
the Eswatini Agency The President, on the electricity
Monsieur le Président,
self-sufficiency,
sur l'autosuffisance de l'énergie,
the country has made strides
le pays
towards
a fait
overcoming
des
energy
efforts
master plan,
ainsi que dans le plan
which gives a
de
quantitative
l'énergie.
master plan promotes the
Dans
widespread
le plan
adoption
principal,
and subsidies. Fuels.
ainsi que le
This is
carburant.
in the pursuit
Et c'est
of
dans
parity.
l'accroissement
Mr. Chairperson,
économique.
in
En base,
addition, it is
Monsieur le
equally
Président,
important
en addition, il est aussi important
to
de noter
achieve SDGs. Countries' electricity access currently 82%. Additionally, going to the robust However,
ainsi que dans
there is still a need to emphasize on the identifying
solutions pour le
policy
pays. Les politiques de
2018
l'énergie de 2018
identifies the promotion accelerate
D'ici
energy
2030,
transmission even at household level.
pour
For giving us a picture
nous avons
on
donné
how the Eswatini is
de ce qui se passe avec les
to 2034 and trying to put the
2030.
legal instruments
Nous
in some
avons
manner,
essayé de
parliament, so that
d'utiliser
everything can be
les
in order.
éléments
We
légaux
really appreciate
dans la
the
mise en œuvre de
initiatives
votre
which you are
Nous devons
taking as a
apprécier
country.
les initiatives que vous prenez en tant que-
So to
Maintenant, il est
5
temps
minutes.
d'éviter le soto. Vous le savez,
It's
le
one
royaume
of those
de Lesotho
countries that
est l'un des pays
construct
où
water
l'exploitation
to our neighbors.
électricité de ces ballons,
But sell to
qui nous
other
permettent
regions.
de vendre des beaucoup pour notre
During the peak,
pendant le
we expend
nous
of our
explorons au moins 5%
domestic juice from Mozambique
de l'énergie utilisée de nos
save hours.
Le courant
Scheme known as upstation.
par un produit, par
We can pump
un programme
water
produit
that water which has been pumped up
de l'eau de la montagne
to move the turbines. Such places have been established
ces canaux ont été
which could generate
ceux qui ont le pouvoir
about
de générer
200
100
electricity.
kilowatts de l'électricité.
Actually,
Ainsi donc,
the Lesotho is
Lesotho a Lesotho a le potentiel de produire de l'électricité.
the wind power. They will
Les
wind blowing free
avec ces trois
wind,
à part-
water,
à part c'est produire
electricity.
comme sur la voie des produits.
When I left the report this year, into the mountain regions,
Aller dans les
it's
régions que vous passez à travers.
very unfriendly.
Thank you very much. Lesotho Kialebo.
Merci beaucoup, Lesotho.
I've heard that Lesotho has got a lot of resources.
Si nous avons entendu que Lesotho a beaucoup de
And
ressources,
as the presenters have highlighted that these are cross-cutting issues.
comme les présentateurs l'ont déjà dit,
They've got a lot of water,
les questions qui nous touchent tous.
but they don't have electricity to pump that water.
Ils ont beaucoup d'eau, mais ils n'ont pas d'électricité.
Some have got water, but they don't have,
Certains ont de l'eau.
some have got electricity, but they don't have enough
De
water.
l'électricité, mais ils n'ont pas de l'eau, assez d'eau.
So it's just a matter of exchange human development.
Donc, c'est la question aussi d'échanger les
Technology is the one which is needed
les technologies.
in
C'est ce que nous avons besoin.
Lesotho.
C'est ça qu'ils ont besoin.
These are the opportunities which we can,
Ça, c'est
as a region,
l'opportunité que nous pouvons utiliser dans la région,
on the power trading.
dans le commerce de l'énergie.
To Madagascar, 5 minutes.
Il est temps maintenant d'inviter Madagascar de faire votre
Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you.
Les taux d'électrification
the level of say that is the lowest in Africa.
effectivement seulement millions des habitants
and over 15 million of
constituant un frein à la qualité de vie des habitants.
so hindrance to the sustainable development.
Côté
So obtained from a fuel that we
réseaux interconnectés,
if the internal
de l'électricité est ainsi cher.
the cost becomes even so we have some fuel judgment
Des gaz
of gas
et des charbons miniers
and of
est un premier réflexe.
that would help us in the first
À sortir de la dépendance aux importations.
to come out of the
En réalité,
but in reality
investir dans l'exploitation
investing in the importation
et exploitation, exportation,
investing in the
exploitation
exploitation
des gisements
of the judgment
est devenu de moins en moins rentable et donc risqué.
has become more and more
Économiquement,
on the economic level.
mis à part que nous ne accélération du changement climatique.
We can only do it without contribution.
Par ailleurs,
Moreover,
80% des feux
we use daily firewood,
ou au charbon de bois
or they can use also charcoal
en tant qu'énergie de cuisson.
as a kitchen energy.
Agriculture
to agriculture,
itinérante sur quel important
this is based on its potential
dans ces domaines.
in
Eau exploitable dans les pays affiche
we have a lot of process that we can exploit in the country.
un potentiel de près de 7,8 gigawatts.
Which gives us at least 7.8 production of energy,
De quoi couvrir l'ensemble des besoins de Madagascar.
which can help us to cover all the needs
De préserver ces potentiels,
to promote this potential.
la grande île devra faire de la lutte contre les changements climatiques
The big
une
island
Je vais continuer ma présentation, peut-être ça va dépasser les 5 minutes. Donc, je vous laisse. En général, l'électricité à Madagascar, c'est vraiment faible parmi tous les pays.
Merci beaucoup, Madame Marie Duck. Presentation.
Pour votre présentation.
Not so it is also very dangerous for the women
Il est
to
aussi
be using causes a lot of diseases
ce qui cause beaucoup de maladies.
to women. So we sympathize with the Madagascar,
Aussi, nous avons de la sympathie avec nos
the resources, but unexploited.
parce que vous avez des ressources qui ne sont pas exploitées.
It is the forum to find the solutions and recommendations which can help
Des débats,
the region.
trouver des
Saying power trading.
Je vais continuer à utiliser le terme commerce en
The only way
C'est la seule façon
our countries can develop. Send our minerals
nous envoyons
to China and Europe and America
nos mines en Chine, en Europe,
because we don't have much power
Porque nós
parce que nous
não
n'avons pas le
temos
pouvoir
for smelting and polishing and making value added to those
Yeah.
minerals.
de purifier
para
ainsi
acrescentar
que
valor
utiliser ces-
aos
ces
nossos
mines.
minerais.
Those countries are taking samples day
Esses
in and day out.
países
Et ces pays
Todos
prennent
os
des
dias
échantillons de nos minéraux
tiram
chaque jour.
amostras todos os dias.
Et parmi ces minéraux, il y a même du sable.
Heavy sands are being taken
Et le
in
sable,
the name of samples.
As
because we
areias
don't have much power
pesadas
ils nous disent
são
que c'est
retiradas
to
porque nós não temos
from
energia
those
le
minerals.
pouvoir d'avoir
para
le-
fazer a transformação
It is my honor
desses
now to call
minerais.
upon Malawi.
Mon honneur,
Agora
maintenant,
vou
de
pedir ao
inviter
Malawi
Make-
para fazer a sua apresentação.
la présidente, vous avez la parole.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Merci beaucoup.
Muito obrigado, senhor presidente.
Situation in Malawi.
Ont déjà
But I
la-
Falo sobre a
la
situação no Malawi,
générale sur Malawi. Je vais juste
mas eu
sur-
queria começar por colocar algumas perguntas. Para
As a
começar,
region,
pour commencer,
SADC,
en tant que région,
em tanto que região
what
da SADC,
uh, efforts are we putting in
Quels sont les efforts
to make
Que
sure that
importância é que nós
research
estamos a
and
colocar
development
nous assurer que
para
les recherches
assegurar
et le
que
is
développement
owned by ourselves?
a pesquisa e o
Because most of these technologies
responsável
that we're
de-
talking about
desenvolvimento
recherche
nos
ainsi que
pertence,
de
porque a maior parte
coming
destas
from
tecnologias
our
a que nos
friends.
referimos
Now, if we are going to learn a lesson
provém
from what
dos
happened
nossos
with
amigos.
COVID,
Se nós quisermos aprender
we
uma
were in
lição,
when we were in the rest of the world,
le reste du
those
monde
that actually did invent the
Ceux
vaccines
qui ont inventé les
first started
vaccins
off treating their own people,
ont commencé d'abord
which
par
is
tuer
normal
leur
in
peuple.
humans.
Ce qui est
You
normal
cannot go
étant
and
humain.
extinguish fire in your neighbor's house
Vous ne pouvez
if
pas
your
aller
house is
tuer
on
le-
fire as
le
well.
feu dans- de
What
chez
is
les
happening
voisins
now
contre
is
les
we know
maisons
this is a
et
ticking
contre-
time bomb,
Donc,
but
ce qui
we
veut
are
dire que
only
nous avons
looking
une
at
opportunité.
technologies that have
Nous
been
parlons seulement
invented
des technologies
by
qui ont été inventées
90%. Our
par
colleagues coming from other
90%
regions and
de nos
other
collègues qui viennent
continents.
d'autres régions ainsi que
When
continents.
are we as a region
Quand est-ce que nous,
going to
États
spend
raison,
resources
nous aurons dépensé
to
nos ressources
actually come up with our
pour
own
actuellement
alternatives,
avoir des
come up with our own
alternatives qui sont
technologies
propres, notre-
that
des
are
technologies
going
qui sont
to
propres,
be owned by ourselves?
qui seront,
If
qui
we
seront
can't do
propres.
this,
Et si nous ne
we are
sommes pas
going
capables de faire cela,
one day
un jour,
we are going to experience the same thing like what happened. with
un
COVID.
jour, nous aurons l'expérience.
If you look at
expérimenté ce que nous avons.
issues, for example, like solar energy,
Si on parlait par exemple de l'énergie
we have
solaire,
we have the sun,
nous avons du soleil,
and yet the technology to actually use it.
mais
It's
c'est à
coming
nous
from
d'utiliser
others.
les technologies.
What are we
pour
doing
l'utiliser.
as a region?
Tout vient de nos voisins.
For
et
the
que-
countries
nous,
that
États,
are producing,
pour
I
les pays
mean,
qui
these
produisent
technologies,
ces
they
technologies,
invest a lot in
Ils-
research and development.
ils investissent
We
beaucoup dans les
usually
recherches et le
spend our monies
Eh
on
oui.
just buying
Donc, nous, nous
technology
dépensons nos
that has already
argent
been developed
en
by
achetant
our
des technologies
colleagues.
qui ont été
What
développées
is it
par
that
nos
are
collègues.
doing to invest?
Qu'est-ce que nous faisons
in
pour
research and
investir dans
development?
la recherche et le développement?
I also wanted
Je voudrais aussi
to provoke ourselves
poser
in
une question
terms
qui
of,
provoque la réflexion
sustainability
en termes de
of
durabilité
most of the technologies
de la
that
plupart
we
de nos
have.
technologies que nous
As
utilisons.
we're talking,
Euh,
our colleagues are already
présentement,
talking about
il y a des
electric
collègues
vehicles.
qui parlent
So they
de
can already see the
véhicules électriques.
future
Ils
when
voient
we
déjà
are
ils
concentrating
voient
on
déjà
using petrol.
des
Believe you me,
futurs.
we wake up
Et
one
sur le fait
day
que nous
when there'll be no
focalisons sur
more
le
fuel,
carburant.
no more petrol,
Je vous jure,
and
il y a
we'll
un
wait
jour, nous
for our
n'aurons pas-
colleagues
nous
to
n'aurons pas
bring
de
that electric
carburant.
vehicle to us.
Et nous irons
I think it's
maintenant chez les
about
voisins pour
time
nous
for us.
emprunter leur voiture
We need
électrique.
to wake up.
Il est
Let
temps,
us spend the
nous,
money
de nous réveiller.
on the
Dépensons
research,
notre
because that's the
argent sur
only
les
way
recherches,
we'll come up
parce
with
que c'est la seule
technology
façon qui
that
va
is
nous
going to
permettre
beat us.
de produire des technologies, de développer
For
des technologies qui
example,
nous
up
aident
to
tout
now,
simplement.
if I still
Jusqu'à
refer
présent,
back to the COVID,
Si nous pouvons
I'm
faire
sure there was
référence
something
encore à la
right that we were
pandémie,
doing
je pense
as
que la
Africans
chose
that
que
had
nous avons-
saved us.
qui
But
nous a
believe
aidés,
you me, nobody is going back to
rappelez-vous
do a
que
research to
personne
find out what is it that
n'a
we did
fait
right
les recherches
that we
qui
need to
nous ont
continue.
permis de mieux.
We will wait
Nous
for
avons
others to
besoin-
come and do a
nous
research
attendons
and
que les
tell
gens
us what we
fassent
did
la
right. I
recherche
think
pour dire ce que nous
we
avons fait.
need to do soul searching
Pour moi, je
in
pense
terms of
qu'il est
what
temps pour
we
nous de faire
spend
des
on
recherches.
in terms
Voir
of development
comment
of
est-ce que nous
technology
développons,
and
combien nous
research.
dépensons en termes de développement, dans le secteur de
I
développement.
also
Ainsi que
wanted
recherche.
to look at it on the issue of population
Troisièmement, je
pressure.
voudrais aussi parler de la pression qui vient de la
I
population.
think these things need to go hand in hand.
Je pense que ces choses doivent aller.
The population pressure
La
and the
pression,
pressure
c'est-à-dire
on the
la
resources that we
population
have.
ainsi que la pression.
And
les ressources que
also,
nous avons.
you have been stressing
Sur
that
comme vous
we
l'avez
do
déjà
have
dit,
the resources
nous
as
avons
we
les
talk,
ressources,
but you find most of it,
mais vous trouverez que
we
la
will
plupart des cas,
export to our colleagues
ces ressources,
who
nous les
come out
exportons à nos collègues
with better things out of it,
qui,
and
qui-
we
qui
end
font
up
des produits
buying
pour leur avantage.
those
Et
things
nous,
very,
nous
very
serons là que,
expensive.
pour acheter.
I'll give
et
an
à
example
un
of
coût très
tobacco.
élevé. Par exemple,
Tobacco is manufactured
production
by
du
mostly Zimbabwe, Malawi,
le tabac est
Zambia,
produit,
but the cigarette,
par exemple,
Mozambique, the
Malawi,
cigarette
Mozambique,
is manufactured
Mozambique,
so
Zimbabwe.
far away.
mais la
Up
cigarette
to now,
est produite
all we're doing is
est
to export. So I
transformée
think it's
de
about
loin de
time
chez nous. Et
that
nous,
we as a region
nous
as
sommes
well
ceux qui achètent la cigarette.
look at ourselves and
Il est temps
actually
maintenant
see
de
what we are.
regarder dans le miroir ce que nous sommes en train de faire.
And one of the presenters from Malawi talked
L'un
about
des présentateurs du Malawi
women
a parlé de femmes
being the most hit.
étant
And I
les
hope
cibles ou bien
If
les
you're talking
cibles
of
de
solutions
la
for these women,
pauvreté. Les
we're
cibles, quelle est
talking
la
of big
solution?
solutions,
C'est
not
nous
when we
parlons de
actually
solutions qui
have
soient
given them
des grandes solutions.
alternatives like
Devant leur donner
a better charcoal
Donc, il n'est pas
stove,
question de leur donner
and for us, we tick that box
meilleure
to say we are helping the
brazier.
women. We need
disant
to
que c'est ça
invest
que nous devons
properly.
faire. Nous devons investir d'une manière appropriée dans le développement des femmes.
Because if we don't invest in these
Parce que
women,
si nous n'investissons pas dans les
believe you me,
femmes,
we'll wake up
croyez-moi, un jour,
with a region
nous allons nous
that has
réveiller avec une région
nothing.
qui n'a rien.
And we are failing to do
Et
investment
nous
because we are
essayons de
lacking
faire les
the energy.
investissements parce que nous manquons de moyens.
Let me stop there, but I just thought I
Pour ne
would
pas aller trop loin,
Thank you.
je vais m'arrêter là. C'était juste 3 questions de réflexion que je voulais poser. Merci.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker from
Merci
Malawi.
beaucoup, très honorable présidente de l'Assemblée nationale.
Food for thought
C'est
on the question which she has posed,
sur les 3 questions qu'elle a soulevées,
but also technology dependency.
et aussi la dépendance technologique.
This syndrome is indeed derailing the development in our region.
Certainement est en train d'empêcher le développement dans notre région.
I'll give you an example.
Je vais vous donner un exemple.
A car or a motor vehicle
Nous avons la voiture
has got a big windscreen in front,
ou un motocar qui a une pare-brise devant.
and then there are rear mirrors,
Et nous avons aussi les rétroviseurs
very small,
qui sont trop petits.
but both for a purpose.
Mais les deux servent un objectif.
The vehicle with a big windscreen in front
La voiture qui a une pare-brise devant,
is for us to have vision
c'est pour nous permettre la vue,
and also to see where we are going.
et aussi voir où nous allons,
But also these two mirrors,
mais aussi les petits rétroviseurs
they are there for a purpose,
sont là pour un objectif bien défini,
for us to look behind
pour nous aider à voir derrière,
where we went wrong,
et voir ce que nous avons,
or where
nous
I
avons
hit a
commis
pothole,
d'erreur, nous
or
avons
where my tire got punctured.
piégé dans un fossé.
But our focus should be forward.
Mais nous devons nous focaliser sur,
Let's think out of the box
pensons en dehors de ce que nous pensons
and let our heads rise above the waters.
et permettons que notre tête soit haute.
It's really indeed touching
Ce sont
that
des questions
women
qui
are the most vulnerable. The population of SADC
et la
is
population de la SADC
big in terms of women.
est plus
Support them
nous avons besoin de les soutenir
for us to achieve energy, sustainable energy for all.
pour aboutir à l'énergie
On Mozambique,
il est temps maintenant d'accorder la parole au Mozambique.
Zikomo kwambiri acheya
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président.
komanso zikomo kwambiri nduna amene mukuyang'anira mphamvu ya magetsi muno m'dziko la Malawi.
Aussi, merci beaucoup à tous les ministres de l'énergie sur Malawi.
Pepani ndiyankhula mu Chichewa chifukwa chakuti
Je vais parler dans la langue
palibe munthu amene akunditanthauzira.
ce qui est Malawi parce qu'il n'y a personne qui interprète pour moi.
Sindikwanisa kuyankhula zonse zimene tinakonzekera koma zimene tipande kunena tikuonza kuti tipereke kwa madziko onse amali pano mu Afrika. Zikomo kwambiri.
Ce que nous voulons
zoonadi kuti
excuse me, madame.
Manze, can you do it in English? So when it does in French, Manze do it in English? Yeah.
Mozambique. Muta kupanga muchichewa. Aku French wa asipanga translate kenaga.
Nga ndanenera ndiyankhula pang'ono.
Comme déjà mentionné, je vais parler un peu plus lentement.
Onadi kuti mphamvu ya magetsi njofunikira m'midzi yathu kapena ndenera kuti madziko onse
Il est vrai que nous
amuno mwa
avons besoin
Afrika.
de l'énergie dans nos villages.
Anga mukudziwa
Comme vous le
kwathu ku Mozambique,
chez nous en Mozambique,
ife tili ndi damu la Kabora-Bassa
nous avons le galon de
limene likutithandiza kwambiri mu chuma cha dziko lathu.
qui nous permet dans la contribution des ressources de
Dziko lathu
notre pays.
anthu ambiri akukoka magetsi kufikitsa mpaka ku nyumba kwawo.
La plupart des gens ont accès à l'énergie.
Zonsezi chifukwa cha mphamvu imene tili nayo mu dziko lathu.
C'est à cause de l'énergie que nous avons dans notre pays.
Mafactory,
Nous avons des industries
komanso zina ndi zina
ainsi que
zimene zimagwira ntchito ndi mphamvu ya magetsi.
d'autres éléments qui ont besoin de
Zimenezo zikuthandiza kuti Mozambique
tout ceci permet que le
ikule kwambiri mu chuma
puisse se développer sur le plan économique
komanso kupeza zonse zimene mu dziko limafunikira.
et aussi se produire le développement en termes de développement durable.
Ine apa ndimafuna kuthirira ndamanga kuti nzoona ndimpofunika kuti tonse madziko tigwirizane
Et ici, je voudrais dire qu'il est important que nous puissions nous entendre tous les pays.
kuti m'mayiko mwathu aliyense apezeke kuti mphamvu ya magetsi kufika m'manyumba mwake.
Permettre que dans tous les pays, dans nos pays, chacun a accès à l'électricité.
Chifukwa chuma cha m'mabanja
Parce que même dans l'économie de nos foyers, dans nos foyers,
komanso ena amene ananena kale ngati aku Malawi anena kuti azimayi
aussi comme nos
ndi
collègues,
amene nthawi zambiri amavutika
les femmes
pakusowa mphamvu imeneyi.
sont beaucoup victimes du manque de l'énergie.
Ngati ife mu dziko lathu lina lililonse tiyesetsa kukhala ndi mphamvu imeneyi, azimayinso ntchito idzachepekera.
Et nous demandons que dans tous les pays, que nous puissions faire les efforts d'avoir accès à l'électricité.
Pathu mphamvu imeneyi yafika ndithu kwa anthu ambiri ndi anthu pang'ono amene alibe magetsi.
Et chez nous, je peux dire que presque tout le monde a accès à l'électricité, sauf quelques pays.
Komanso padakali pano boma lathu likuyesetsa kuti likonzenso lina damu la Mpandankuwa.
Aussi à présent, et notre
pakatithandiza pa zaka zobwerazi tikhala ndi madamu awiri.
avec la permission divine dans les années.
Tiyeni tonse tiyesetse kuti tikhale ndi mphamvu imeneyi m'madziko mwathu.
Et c'est notre prière que nous ayons tous accès à l'électricité.
Pakupezeka kuti madziko ena ali ndi madzi koma sakukwanisa alibe kapena chuma choti akonzere damu.
Nous trouvons que dans d'autres pays, vous avez accès à des ressources d'eau.
Ena ali ndi chuma koma sakukwanisa alibe madzi oti akonzere damu.
Mais aussi dans d'autres pays, vous avez la possibilité, mais vous n'avez pas accès à l'eau.
Pofunika kuti tonse tigwirizane amene alibe ndi amene ali nazo kuti tiyesetse kuti mayiko onse tipatsane mphamvu imene kufunikira m'madziko mwathu.
Donc, il est important que nous puissions travailler ensemble pour savoir comment nous
Sindinena zambiri monga ndanena muja kuti zambiri ndachita kulemba ndiyetetsetsa kuti mayiko onse mulandire zimene ife talemba zambiri sizokhazi zimene timafuna onena koma chifukwa chakuti tapeza problem imene yakuti palibe translator ndiye zimene ndingayankhule ndi zimenezi zikomo kwambiri.
Parce que j'ai eu le problème avec l'interprétation, j'ai voulu juste faire ce que j'allais dire. Merci. So, just honorable members, allow me just to she wanted just to concur with everybody with what you said. She highlighted that in Mozambique they are very fortunate because most of the population of Mozambique have access to electricity. Only to the government of Mozambique is working to develop, they have a dam that is access to water, but maybe they don't have the means to transform that. People, the victim of this lack of energy, are women. See that without the energy, that is impeding on the development, durable development.
Thank you very much for the brief summary. Indeed, Mozambique has got a lot of resources. And as she has said that she had prepared speech, but unfortunately due to technical or what she prepared. Mozambique has got a lot of gas in many regions or provinces. And indeed, we need also to be supported. The countries which are neighboring with the Mozambique has been highlighted about the regional integration. She has said that she is going to share the document which she prepared.
Aussi, elle a mentionné qu'elle va partager le document le discours qu'elle a déjà fait.
Now let me call upon Namibia.
Agnes Minganakafula.
Mon nom c'est Agnès Minganakafula.
MP. Let me kick off by saying that
je souhaiterais commencer
Namibia's top energy include petroleum,
à la ressource
and electricity and imported coal. 60% of Namibia's energy drawn from petrol. Own internal resources supply less than 1/3 of its needed energy requirements. Has made much progress in terms of electricity provision to its it still faces many challenges, as only over 50% of citizens has access to power. Many other resources of energy, particularly renewable sources, would be explored to curtail the shortage and promote energy. These sources include solar, wind, and biomass generation. Of late, Namibia has gone a step further by introducing a $12 billion green hydrogen. This project, which will be implemented in phases and set to start in 2026, is intended to transform the country into a major renewable energy It's a player by producing 300,000 metric tons
Nous projetons
of
produire
green hydrogen.
au moins 300 métriques tonnes de.
Parallel
Ça sera mis en
to the
œuvre
recent discovery of oil
parallèlement avec les
and
découvertes
gas of the Namibian coast,
dans
estimated to hold
du pétrole ainsi que
about 11.5 billion
ainsi que
barrels
notre énergie.
of
Nous
light
besoin de
crude
11
oil
millions
and
de
other
du
promising
carburant brut, du carburant
exploration
brut
activities
qui va nous permettre dans
that
notre
are
activité
already underway in the northeastern part
telle
of
que
Namibia.
développée déjà dans le nord et la partie est.
All countries are preparing to move away from non-renewable
Bien que les
resources
pays se préparent pour
of energy
quitter les ressources de
such
non
as
renouvelables,
oil,
de l'énergie non renouvelable.
Namibia believes
Par exemple,
in what is called energy
le
mix
pétrole, la Namibie a quoi ce qu'on appelle
that is taking
énergie mix.
advantage
Cela c'est prendre
of both
avantage
sources of
de
energy,
toutes les ressources
not
de
only
l'énergie,
for the benefit
non
of
seulement
Namibians,
pour le bien-être de la population
but
de
the
la Namibie,
entire continent
mais
of
aussi
Africa.
pour le continent africain.
Namibia is a signatory to the Paris Agreement
Namibie est le signataire de
and
l'accord
has
de
its
Paris,
own national energy policy.
donc nous avons aussi ratifié la
Extracting natural resources such as oil
soustraire
does not
des
mean
ressources telles que
it backtracking
l'énergie brute
on its commitment to decarbonize.
ainsi que notre engagement dans le
With
décarbonisation.
these discoveries,
Avec ces quelques
we hope
découvertes,
that the energy
notre espoir que
crisis
la crise,
in the SADC region
la carence en énergie
and
dans
the
la
entire
région
Africa
SADC,
will
ainsi que en Afrique
averted.
en entier.
It's important that
Il est
as
important
the SADC region,
que nos territoires en région de la
we
SADC,
work together
que nous travaillons
to
ensemble
strengthen our efforts
pour renforcer nos efforts
towards an energy self-sufficient region.
vers l'autosuffisance de l'énergie.
In Europe, which has
La guerre dans
pushed energy
l'Europe de
prices
l'Est qui a
and increased the
qui a
cost
causé
of
l'augmentation
living,
de
serve as a
devrait
lesson
nous servir de leçon
for all of us
à tout un chacun d'entre nous.
and should encourage us
Et ça devrait aussi nous encourager
to find alternative
à trouver les alternatives,
means of creating
les moyens de créer
our own energy
nos
resources.
Thank you very much, Namibia, for
Merci beaucoup.
the excitement which you have given us, that
Pour,
there are a lot of resources in your
l'espoir que
country.
vous nous avez donné, vous avez beaucoup de ressources dans votre pays.
And currently, the world is speaking about hydrogen. This is a new technology
Le monde parle de l'hydrogène,
which is just coming
la nouvelle technologie
into Africa.
qui vient en Afrique.
As Parliament,
Étant au Parlement,
we need also to work hand in hand
nous devons travailler main dans la main
with the RERA,
avec
that's the Regional Energy Regulatory Authority,
les autorités de réglementation
because
de
renewable energies which we are bringing in our countries
l'énergie renouvelable que nous apportons
with the solar batteries,
avec les
very soon
solaires.
we'll need a place where to dump those batteries.
Ça, nous aurons besoin d'un endroit pour
Legislation in place.
nous devons avoir des législations, des juridictions en place.
What will happen when we are dumping those batteries in? So hybrid systems
Certes, nous avons aussi des systèmes hybrides
in order to achieve the intended goals in our respective countries.
pour aboutir à nos objectifs. Maintenant, il est temps d'inviter
South Africa's National Development Plan
le plan de développement
in a strong network of economic infrastructure,
qui investir dans
support the country's medium and long-term economic and social objectives.
nous avons aussi
Structure is a critical component that underpins the economic activity and growth across the country.
la tendance
And extensive enough to meet industrial, commercial, and household needs.
pour aboutir pour
Significant role in electricity generation as a country
le
has
charbon
the source in abundance.
nous servir dans la
Investment will be directed towards more sufficient, more efficient coal technologies,
nous avons aussi besoin d'investir dans
high efficiency, low emissions,
l'efficacité avec l'émission.
certification and the development of carbon capture
La classification
and storage to enable us to continue using our coal resources in an environmentally responsible way.
des ressources humaines qui sont
Government will also work with ESCOM to ensure that the utility complies with the minimum emission standard over time.
va aussi coopérer avec
Say that there must be a just transition towards less carbon emitting technologies.
vers la façon dont limiter l'émission.
Protection of workers and communities in affected areas
La
must, as far as possible, not be left
communauté
worse off. We also raise a point that
nous avons aussi
it is globally accepted fact that nuclear as a clean source of energy can contribute significantly to the reduction of emissions.
les ressources nucléaires sont des
It's a move globally towards the development of small modular reactors that are considered more manageable investment when compared to a large fleet approach.
nous devons
Source plan
notre plan de ressources
provides for extension of design life of
la possibilité de
Uber as well as additional new nuclear capacity in the future, taking into account
d'élargir la capacité
the capacity that will be decommissioned into the future.
la capacité qui sera
Nuclear at a pace, scale, and cost affordable to the country is a no regret option.
nous ne sommes pas
So here we emphasize on planning
si nous parlons
so much that this should not crowd the fiscals of the country.
de qui ne pourra pas parler.
Renewable energy combined with storage
avec
present an opportunity to produce distributed power closer to where demand is and to provide off-grid electricity to far-flung areas of the country. In addition to the sun and wind resources,
en plus des ressources solaires.
South Africa has some of the world's largest high-grade resources in at least 6 key commodities that play a critical role in the global energy storage sector.
Toujours
Vanadium, platinum,
et ici nous parlons des vanadium,
palladium, nickel, manganese, rare earth, copper, and cobalt.
parlons aussi du cuivre ainsi que du cobalt.
These resources
Ces ressources
present a huge potential for the creation of new industries and localization across value chain.
dans la création de nouvelles industries.
Of course, this will
Certainement,
be critical,
ces choses seront
will contribute to the value chain to the extent that
qui vont contribuer
as a country, SADC and the region invest more on science and technology to attend to the issue that the figure of also, I think we need to end with this point that during the sidelines meeting of the COP26, South Africa entered into a partnership with the G7 countries and European Commission countries in an effort to diversify resources, energy, and move to greenhouse energy.
This partnership aimed at accelerating decarbonization of South Africa's economy with a focus on electricity system to help achieve the ambitious goals in the nationally determined contribution of emissions goal. It is at these platforms where countries like South Africa and the rest of SADC countries need to be assertive with regard to not allow themselves to be bullied by the developed countries with unrealistic goals in terms of the transition. So South Africa looks forward to a long-term partnership that can serve as appropriate model of support to climate change action from developed to developing countries. Support that SADC will have integrated energy generation capacity to ensure there is enough energy supply to support economic growth in the region. Thank you.
Thank you very much, South Africa. Indeed, sources which have been highlighted, platinum, nickel, need indeed to have energy. And it is up to us as Parliament to have a periodical review of energy laws. Our energy laws in most of the countries are outdated and need to move with the new generation. Thank you very much. Hapa ya Malawi. Asante sana.
Asante sana. So I don't know whether I should continue in Kiswahili because the chair understands it. But I will begin with a light note. I think as parliamentarians, being speakers, we should learn from the chair style that is using, being attentive to every other presentation and having to make a comment on every other presentation. So that's a good thing. I would also like to agree with the rest of the comments that have been made, because in the interest of time, I will talk about Tanzania a little later in the few minutes that have been given. But I was asking myself, as we are discussing here about the sustainability, efficiency, self-sufficiency in the SADC region. And then I heard from one of the presenters talking about Malawi using the renewable energy sources. And then my question is, and I hope they'll have time to respond, what is the percentage of the population in Malawi that has access to electricity? Because it was presented in a very good way. So I would really like to learn and then see if it's working in Malawi. Definitely everybody else should be able to do that. And all our countries to have that sense of how many people in our respective countries have access to electricity. It's important because when we meet in these big gatherings, it's so easy to explain, the projects and programs in our respective countries. But I must commend the lady from Madagascar, the deputy speaker. She spoke about the challenges that the entire country of Madagascar is going through. And so it's easier once you admit the challenges that are going on in our countries. Now, I'm saying all that because of this topic, we are talking about sustainability. If the majority of the population in our respective countries don't have access to energy at all, to electricity at all, and then we are discussing about sustainability. What are we sustaining? They don't have that power. And we are talking about clean energy. They don't even have that dirty energy. So, you know, so we have to be realistic. We have to be realistic. It's true. We talk about climate change. We talk about the fact that it is our responsibility to ensure that we protect the globe. Yes, it is true. But when you consider that most of the SADC countries, we are still in the dark, maybe we should be looking at solutions that are going to give our people access first, and then start from there, cleaning up whatever is there. And I had here, we are talking about women and the fact that they use firewood, they use charcoal. I mean, I was looking at the statistics from the presentation here. From the look of things, Tanzania, we are using LPG at 4%. What about the rest of the countries? And I'm not going to, you know, speak in this meeting like Tanzania is doing so well. No, we have plans to move, but we haven't really started, so to speak, because if you're talking about 4%, that's very low. But even us now, as the elite, as the leaders in those countries, what do we now? What are our families using? We can't. We have to lead by example if that's what we are saying. And I was looking here at the load shedding. Some of our countries have developed so much that the load shedding is actually put on the internet so that so that our citizens can actually go to the internet and see when they will actually have power. And we are talking about sustainability. What is it that we are sustaining? We should look at the practical solutions for our country instead of looking at what others are saying in other places outside SADC, where they already had power for a long time, and they have used a similar method that they are now preventing us from using. I don't think we should buy into that. But now my time is running. Now back to Tanzania. We are making some progress. Recently, we signed the post-government agreement in order to develop our liquefied natural gas projects. So we hope, because in the presentation, it came out very clearly that Tanzania is supposed to participate in the bucket, so to speak, for the energy in SADC. We will do that, and we are in the process of doing that. But we also have a huge project. And I sympathize with our colleague from DRC Congo, and I hope things will work out in order to use the Congo River. Now, in my own country, we have a large project to develop power, which is the Judiciary Hydropower project. It's going to produce 2,115 megawatts once it's completed, and we hope that is going to be completed in 2024. So we hope a part of that energy that will not be used in the country can go to some of the SADC countries that will need it. Now, because I talked about statistics from our own country, in my own country, we have had, because our country is big, we have had to establish a rural electrification agent, which is rural energy agent, just for rural, to ensure that the villagers have electricity. And in that plan, we are hoping by the end of this year, electricity would have reached every village in Tanzania. So when we talk about sustainability, we should use what we have. If you have coal in the country, use that coal until your people have power, and then we can talk later about cleaning up that coal. That's my way of looking at it. Instead of stopping a person or a country from using coal because some people somewhere have got power, which they're using nuclear or they're using water or whatever. So, in the interest of time, I would say in SADC, I think if we are going to talk about this topic, we should use the resources that we have in our countries. And nobody should stop us from using it because somewhere, somehow, people have started something. Yes, we understand science. We agree to those researches, but we will reach there when it's our time to reach there.
Mais
Thank
nous
you very
allons
much.
arriver à ce niveau quand ce sera notre jour d'y arriver. Merci beaucoup.
Asante sana from Tanzania.
Merci beaucoup.
Kama kuna mtu hana usingizi,
Je pense que si
ni waziri wa umeme.
qui dort, c'est ceux qui ont travaillé dans les
If there are ministers who have sleepless nights in the region, is ministers of energy or ministers of petroleum. It is very challenging. I'm not going to answer for the technocrats, but they will come in. You're right, what you're saying, that we need also to have regional integration. Malawi was hit by Cyclone Anna, and we lost 130 megawatts. That was on the 24th and 25th of January this year. But you can ask why the lights are not going off. There is a magic which we are doing in order not to lose power. And I would like to urge the parliamentarians in order to achieve the intended goal, access to energy. Malawi in Tanzania, we are developing Songwe River basin to be giving us both countries power sharing, almost 190 megawatts. Malawi has hydropower plants in one river, which is not very good for security. Suppose the cyclone Anna hits Ikula, the first power plant, and then goes to the power plant, and then to the third power plant. Malawi was going to be in that. So putting all eggs in one basket is not very, very. Time has come that countries should have mini grids. And also these mini grids in all small rivers with the new technologies which are coming up. It is about the parliaments to expedite these laws. Move all these bureaucracy. When we want to procure something about electricity, it takes ages. One office to another, one office to another. And we would have it, as she has said, that we parliamentarians and should have laws that all institutions, i.e. hospitals, should move away from fuel wood. Hospitals, prisons, and also secondary schools. And also legislation should be put in place that all roofs should have panels in order for us, because the agriculture-based countries cannot achieve. The solar needs a vast land in order to have a solar power. That we should be the first to discourage using charcoal. So laws should be amended. That cheaper and well packed in a small container so that it can be affordable to everybody.
Et puis emballé dans
Kindly allow me to ride on the course that
My brief presentation will focus three key areas critical
je vais parler de
for energy sustainability and Zambia and beyond, zeroing in at it as follows. One, the policy and legal framework governing energy in Zambia. Two, programs for sustainable energy supply in Zambia. And the third is opportunities and challenges affecting the energy sector. The policy and legal framework governing the energy sector in Zambia includes the following: rural electrification plan 2008 to 2030. Authority 5-year rolling plan 17 to 2021. The rural electrification authority strategic plan 20 of mines, energy and water development strategic for rural electrification projects 2009, national energy policy of 2008, and the rural electrification. Zambia's demand for electric energy has been on the upward due to economic growth in sustainable energy for the country and renewable energy. Strides have been made to establish a collection of main guides especially to the rural communities, because they do not require construction of long stretches of electrical lines. Estimated that these parks will provide electricity to 10,000 households. The other initiative is renewable energy for sustainable development in Zambia. Surged that the construction of the hydro plant, the government commissioned in 2012, will provide electricity to 25,000 people. Zambia supplies power to some neighboring countries, such as Mozambique and Tanzania, and despite the enormous potential in the sector, the biggest challenge for investment in the sector is a huge public debt obligation.
prospects in medium to long term and sector is one of the key priority areas exploiting and renewable energy sources and the controversial nuclear energy source. Challenges include the limited investment in the infrastructure, continued on hydro as the major generation source, of modern renewable energy and energy efficient technologies. Sustainability and self-sufficiency of the energy in SADC region critical as a catalyst for economic growth in the region. Given this, there is need for strengthened collaboration by member states in partnering in the sector on mega projects, shift yes, and until SADC recognizes the power in working together, actually the challenges we face in the energy sector, the region will continue declining. Central in needed checks and balances in ensuring the executive arm of government walk the talk in the energy sector. So having mini grid. Indeed, if you don't give electricity to the rural masses, they will follow you with charcoal in the urban cities. My daughter went to study in China or Egypt or wherever it is. And she is a doctor. When she is posted in the rural where there is no electricity, today the world is with technology. She can't stay there because she can't use her laptop. She can't use a phone. Doctors today are using consulting through technology. So the IT is there. Give our children, let's amend our laws so that tomorrow our grandchildren cannot blame us that we didn't invest much in the energy sector. Time has come
Il est temps maintenant
for parliamentarians to lobby for more funds.
de faire le plaidoyer pour beaucoup de financement.
That we didn't do much as countries
Nous avons vu qu'on n'a pas
in the investment of energy.
Étant,
All these hidden treasures,
nous avons caché tout.
we need to invest more. Standing committees, the standalone committees on natural resources and budget and finance should work hand in hand in order to lobby from the ministers of finance in order to put in the energy sector.
Les différents sous-comités.
Zimbabwe,
Avant d'accorder la parole aux députés,
can I? Selves.
d'applaudir pour nous-mêmes.
Why? Because
Parce que
I was observing nobody left this room,
j'ai observé qu'il n'y a personne qui a quitté cette auguste maison.
which means that we really mean it. We are
Ce qui
not
veut dire que
talking
nous
about
sommes
business as
sérieux.
usual.
Nous ne jouons pas.
We have been sitting here without health break.
Nous avons sans-
And I'm so sorry for those who have health issues.
Je présente mes excuses.
It is not my aim,
Ce n'est pas vraiment mon-
but the topic which we are seems it is to the heart of everybody and every speaker who is. Give a round of applause
Il
to
faut aller
ourselves.
plus sur- dire que nous-
Finally,
Et finalement,
let me. Sorry,
nous disons
Zimbabwe. Kutoka Zimbabwe. Over to you, Zimbabwe.
maintenant,
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. I've just been chuckling because for the 5 minutes that you graciously extended to me, I will not do the impossible to try to get into my speaker's big shoes, who himself is an accomplished presenter. In fact, all our speakers have been very fantastic. We clearly emulate them. Mr. Chairman, at the outset, please allow me to state as Team Zimbabwe, we are aware that energy is a vital on a daily basis. Fuel and electricity speed up infrastructure projects that drive both regional integration and economic growth. In its wisdom, Chairman, the African Union has espoused Agenda 2063 has identified energy as one of the key infrastructure pillars critical for connecting the continent. Therefore, the development of vibrant energy sector able sorry about that. The development of a vibrant energy sector able to ensure self-sufficiency is a high priority in the SADC region. Our region, Mr. Chairman, is relatively well endowed potential energy resources, which include solar, wind, nuclear, hydroelectricity, thermal power, gas, and petroleum sources several of our countries. However, Mr. Chairman, biomass is far the major source of energy in most SADC member states, accounting for about 45% of final energy consumption in the region. This is a major challenge as you have stated, Mr. Chairman, is by SADC. It needs heavy reliance on fossils, source of energy, and of course, the attendant low pace in energy transition towards clean energy. Admittedly, as this Namibia, the honorable from Namibia alluded to, we are stuck between a hard place and a rock, as our governments are required to provide access to energy resources, clean or otherwise. It is imperative, therefore, that SADC region explore fully sources of energy such as coal, hydroelectricity, and natural gases in countries such as Zimbabwe, the DRC, Mozambique, and Tanzania, in order to circumvent the crippling energy deficit experienced since 2007. Mr. Chairman, as a country, we are aware that the region has come up with strategic mitigatory protocols and plans to contain the energy deficit. We have domesticated and amplified these through various legislation, which are listed below. At present, our country is mainly dependent on coal, petroleum, hydroelectric power, and biomass to meet its energy needs. It has also come up with a raft of legislation aimed at spurring growth in the energy sector. We have in place legislative framework for energy development. I will whiz through these. We have a paper that we'll be happy to share with our colleagues, but some are self-explanatory. For instance, supreme law of our land in section 13 speaks of the facilitation of rapid and equitable development, including the promotion of a balance between rural and urban areas. And energy is a key enabler to develop. Some of the legislation worth mentioning is the electricity. It's self-explanatory, but Mr. Chairman, you appreciate that challenges in terms of vandalism, infrastructure vandalism, the stealing of transformers and copper wire draws our efforts backwards. We also have the Rural Electrification Act that relates to the one in existence in Namibia. Honorable Chair, we also have in place key subsidiary legislative documents on energy self-sufficiency. We have the petroleum gas pricing regulations, ethanol blending, net metering regulations. We also have a renewable energy policy. 2019, we have biofuel policy, more focused on the contemporary, Mr. Speaker. Pardon, Mr. Chairman. We have energy efficiency policy, which is still in draft form, will be finalized in the second half of 2022. We have a mobility framework, which provides
for the use of electric motor vehicles that our presenters said to. Let me apply myself to the question of gas and oil in Zimbabwe. As is public record now, an Australian company, Invictus Energy Limited, confirmed oil deposits in Mzarabani, Mashonaland Central. And this has a potential of 215 million barrels of oil trapped underground. And on a similar note, in Matabeleland North in 2007, our government granted exploitation of gas in Lupani as a national project status. And that project has the potential of providing 40 trillion cubic feet coal bed methane. And then we are trudging on as a government with the implementation of the 1.5 billion Wange thermal power station expansion. And we expect this to feed about 600 megawatts into the national grid. We are also promoting independent power producers who have the potential, who are currently delivering 7,720 megawatts onto the national grid. If as a country we are able to support just 10% of these IPPs that we have licensed, the country will be exporting more than 400 megawatts. Let me quickly speak to the Inga project, Mr. Chairman said. The region should leverage on grand projects such as this one. In fact, as Team Zimbabwe, we believe the Inga project should be a regional project requiring all of SADC to invest in it. It is the Southern African power pool that should kickstart this regional project, as it has literally the potential of lighting up the whole of SADC and generating surplus for export. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, sir, we are aware as a parliament that our role is to promulgate laws that promote energy production. In that respect, our parliament needs to ratify and domesticate the SADC protocols on energy, as well as continental and international protocols. The Parliament of Zimbabwe is always prepared to play this sublime role and responsibility. The only sustainable solution is renewable energy. Renewable energy is the future for the SADC, but SADC must adopt the net zero concept, whereby it progressively reduces dependency on fossils and shifts towards renewables with global compensation. With those few words, Mr. Chairman, I would like to thank you and reiterate that we have a paper, a detailed one, that we are happy to share with our colleagues through the Secretariat. I submit. Thank you very much. the theater too.
est aussi dans la salle de classe.
Your nephew
Votre neveu
is in the incubator.
est dans l'incubateur.
Coma,
Il va aller et puis on retrouve de lui dans le transformateur.
killing. Who are on the supporting machines.
Qui sont dans l'hôpital avec ces éléments de sécurité.
Hey, there is also a new
Et aujourd'hui, il y a encore le vol
of what? That transformer is servicing how many people?
mais ce transformateur fournit de l'énergie à combien de personnes?
I'm not finding there is no electricity, the machines are not working.
Les dispensateurs automatiques.
Let's review our laws
Nous devons revoir nos
for
lois
these sabotage.
pour ces sabotages économiques.
It is not acceptable.
Ce n'est pas acceptable.
And the countries which are buying that copper
Et ces pays qui achètent ce truc
should also be touched and concerned,
devraient aussi être punis
because we can't develop
parce qu'on ne peut pas développer.
when other people are sabotaging the countries.
Pas d'autres personnes sont en train de saboter.
Electricity, paying,
Comme nous disons,
let's think.
les disons,
And when we're making our laws,
et quand nous,
let's amend the laws on the punishment of those who are
quand nous allons-
sabotaging in the energy sector.
quand nous légiférons, veillons faire des lois qui soient
Trying to remove the stay wire.
il y a les gens qui
When you see silver poles
vous voyez
or copper poles,
les poteaux en cuivre ou bien en-
let's think where this copper is coming from.
nous pouvons penser d'où ces numéros viennent.
The vandalism. Sector.
C'est aussi une barrière dans le développement.
Finally,
Et finalement,
you have also spoken about the IPP. Because when they're coming in our country,
les producteurs indépendants de l'énergie, quand
they
ils
mustn't exorbitant tariffs.
avec des prix très
Tariffs should be well negotiated,
avec des tarifs très élevés. Ces tarifs
that our people avoid having crisis in our region
évitons de créer des crises dans nos régions.
through on us.
Qu'ils sont déposés par les producteurs indépendants de l'énergie.
Random way, whoever is ready to come and come up.
Observed.
Tout le protocole observé,
Summary.
en résumé,
We've Thank you so
nous
much.
avons beaucoup entendu de tous les présentateurs. Merci beaucoup.
First, SADC region is endowed with abundant and diverse energy resources.
La région de la SADC est venue avec
Sustainable.
c'est à nous maintenant d'utiliser ces ressources pour les questions.
Despite the abundant energy resources and
Malgré l'abondance des ressources de l'énergie,
access to electricity in the region remains relatively low.
l'accès à l'électricité dans la région reste
Madagascar, Malawi, they sit at 15%.
Madagascar et Malawi sont à 50%.
Research and development, science and technology
Les recherches et développement, sciences et technologies
are key for such to exploit energy resources.
sont les éléments clés pour exploiter les ressources dans la région de la SADC.
We must own the technologies.
Nous devons nous approprier de la technologie.
Comrades,
Les cadres juridiques,
policies and strategies
les politiques et stratégies
are key for the member states to unlock energy potential in the SADC.
sont aussi très importants pour que les États membres puissent découvrir
Biomass, oil and gas,
pour les productions de gaz,
its SADC energy resources.
domaine des ressources et combustibles dans la région de la SADC.
Therefore, it is important to divert such energy sources.
Aller au-delà de telles sources de
Energy technologies such as hydrogen,
la technologie énergétique telle que l'hydrogène
presents new opportunities for energy sufficiency in the region.
nous accorde de nouvelles opportunités pour la autosuffisance.
So gender mainstreaming
L'intégration des genres,
resonates across all party member states.
c'est quelque chose en plus que
Therefore, the responsibility to ensure that this effective remains on members of party. Finally, infrastructure vandalism affects every country. These are transformers, copper wires, and storage. Economic sabotage. Therefore, it is very important that members of parliament enact tough laws against vandalism. Member states who buy these stolen materials must be held accountable.
Si les États vont faire ceux qui se font voler,
SADC member states
les États membres de la SADC
must quickly move towards e-mobility.
devaient aller vers l'immobilité.
So, one day we'll find that we have forward has gone erect.
Le monde est déterminé sur le vivant dans notre pays.
Powered vehicles by 2085 and 2023.
Voilà, par exemple, l'Union européenne, c'est que les royaumes
there was an emphasis that the INGA project,
il y a un point qui a été soulevé sur les projets de climat.
very important for the region,
C'est un projet qui touche plus que la région.
and SAP must take interest and not potential for such.
C'est pour évidemment
Again, a big hand to our presenters coming up. And also, let me thank speakers. Say only in Botswana. We go to Zambia.
Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup.
Now let me give the floor
Maintenant, il est temps de laisser la parole
to the Vice President
au vice-président du forum parlementaire.
of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, Honorable Dr.
Honorable
Fiarovana
Fiarovana
Lovanirira Celestine.
Celestine.
Vice President, you close this session. Thank you very much.
Merci, Monsieur le ministre.
Thank you so much, Mr. Honorable Minister.
On voit que le temps passe vite, donc c'est le moment de faire le discours de la clôture.
And it's time now to give our
La très honorable Catherine Gotaniara, députée présidente du Parlement de Malawi.
right honorable
Honorable Ibrahim Matola, ministre de l'Énergie
Honorable
de la République du Malawi.
Minister Ibrahim Matola, Minister of Energy, Malawi.
Distingué président du Parlement, membre du Forum parlementaire de la SADC et chef de délégation.
Distinguished speakers of different parliaments of the members.
Honorable sénateur Edwin Merlin Snoway,
Honorable Senate, Edwin Snoway,
député représentant de le très honorable
MP,
Sidi Mohamed Tinis, président du Parlement de CEDEAO.
MP representing the
Secrétaire général du Forum parlementaire de la SADC,
the speaker,
M. Boymo Segoma.
the speaker of Tunisia, by the way, and the Secretary General.
Son Excellence Omar Ernesto Veroteram Paredes,
Your Excellency,
ambassadeur du Venezuela auprès de la République de Namibie.
Your Excellency, the Ambassador of Venezuela to the Republic of
Et secrétaire généraux des parlements membres.
Congress and the General Secretary of the
Distingués observateurs,
and the four
personnels de la SADC PF et tous les personnels du Parlement membre.
member state, member staff of the
Distingués présentateurs,
and all the presenters.
estimés membres des médias, mesdames et messieurs,
members of the media,
au nom de l'Assemblée de Madagascar que nous représentons, ainsi qu'en mon nom personnel, je tiens à féliciter à toutes et à tous, honorables parlementaires et aux responsables du Forum parlementaire du développement de l'Afrique australe en particulier.
I want to take this opportunity to thank all members of the parliament,
Et particulièrement son Excellence,
and particularly Your Excellency,
honorable Catherine Gotaniara,
Right Honorable Catherine Mutefani,
présidente du Parlement du Malawi,
Speaker of the National Assembly of Malawi,
honorable président des parlements, membre de la SADC et chef de délégation,
honorable speakers of the National Assembly,
honorable ministre de l'énergie du Malawi et ses staff,
honorable Minister of Energy and your staff,
qui nous honore de sa présence aujourd'hui.
who has honored us with the presence.
C'est une immense joie et un privilège particulier pour nous
It's a joy and a privilege for us
de vous avoir parmi nous en ce moment et nous en sommes très reconnaissants.
It's a privilege and a good joy for us to have you among.
L'énergie et le sang qui animent notre vie, surtout dans la région de la SADC,
for the security, energy security in the SADC region.
en tirant parti des économies d'échelle dans le développement des infrastructures énergétiques.
And this by trying to imitate source of energy in the developed countries.
Les États membres de la SADC ont notamment signé des protocoles sur l'énergie en 1996.
Member states of the SADC signed a protocol on the energy.
Le protocole vise à faciliter et à promouvoir l'intégration régionale.
This protocol was to promote and to strengthen.
Outre le protocole,
Moreover,
la SADC dispose de bons programmes et stratégies en vue de l'intégration régionale dans le secteur de l'énergie.
SADC has got so many roads and rules in terms of
Malheureusement, la mise en œuvre de ces bons programmes reste faible.
unfortunately, the integration of these programs.
Et par conséquent, peu d'améliorations ont été enregistrées en matière d'énergie dans la région.
That's why consequently we have seen that we have to in terms of.
La plupart des États membres de la SADC ont continué à concentrer davantage sur la réalisation de leurs intérêts nationaux
Many of member states of the SADC have been focused on just the interest of the national level
que sur les obligations régionales.
than their regional duty.
Honorables membres, distingués délégués,
Honorable members and distinguished guests,
en tant que parlementaire,
as a member of parliament,
en particulier sous l'égide du Forum parlementaire de la SADC,
in particular being a member of the SADC parliament,
il fait partie de notre mandat principal de soutenir la capacité de la mise en œuvre de la SADC.
it is our responsibility to maintain and to support the implementation of.
Par conséquent,
Consequently,
je réaffirme que nous devons jouer le rôle qui nous revient en plaidant pour que l'État membre s'engage à mettre en œuvre l'engagement régional.
it's for this reason that we want really to play our role and to take the responsibility in the implementation
dans divers secteurs et dans celui de l'énergie en particulier.
in different sectors, but most especially in the sector energy sector.
Honorables membres, distingués délégués,
Honorable members and distinguished guests,
permettez-moi de remercier nos intervenants d'aujourd'hui
allow me also to thank everyone
qui ont fait preuve d'une excellente maîtrise du sujet abordé.
and they have shown really that they understand the matter of conflict
Et ont grandement stimulé nos réflexions
and they have also boosted our reflection
sur la question de l'efficacité énergétique
on the things of energy
de la durabilité de l'autosuffisance dans notre région.
sustainability and self-sufficiency in our
Finalement,
finally.
je remercie tous les députés pour leur participation active.
I want to thank all members of the parliament for your active participation
Délibération de cet après-midi.
in all the debates we have this
Avec ces quelques mots,
with some remarks.
je déclare officiellement
I want to declare officially
close ce symposium de la 51e session de l'Assemblée plénière.
this symposium of the first plenary assembly
Thank you very much.
closed. Thank you so much.
On a point of order. On a point of order, Mr. Vice President.
Reconnaissance, si nous pouvons pas applaudir pour notre interprète qui s'est tenu debout pendant 4 heures.
Thank you so much, Honorable Vice President.
Merci beaucoup, honorable vice-président du forum.
The session is closed. I have few announcements to make.
Maintenant que la séance a été portée à la pause, j'ai quelques annonces.
The first announcement. Speaker,
Et que la présidente et un cocktail de bienveillance cette soirée.
was supposed to start at 7 o'clock.
Le programme devrait commencer à 19h pour de cette heure de cette
Already
soirée.
beyond 7.
Il est déjà 19h passé.
This regard, the delegates are being requested from this meeting for Friday.
Et tous les délégués sont priés de présent d'aller directement jusqu'à l'emplacement de ce cocktail.
And the venue is Sunwell Capital Hotel, just across.
Et la place de ce cocktail, c'est Sunwell Hotel qui est juste de l'autre. Donc,
So honorable delegates have been requested that from here,
honorable
all
délégué, vous êtes priés
transport buses
d'aller dans le bus.
The second announcement is that
Deuxième annonce,
there is also pleased the
Excellence le président de la
to
République
host
Malawi,
the speakers and leaders of delegation to a breakfast.
ce petit déjeuner, c'est à 8h.
Due to, State House. Delegates are requested to be at State House by 7. Case delegates are also being requested to leave the hotel around 7 a.m.
Dans ce cas, les délégués sont aussi priés de quitter l'hôtel.
Delegates are also being advised or informed that
que vous utilisez ont des marques de label dépendant de notre. Pour cela, vous êtes prié
name of the hotel where
de lire sur les
finally tomorrow,
et finalement demain,
is General Assembly session.
nous allons commencer l'assemblée plénière, la séance de l'assemblée plénière
At night,
à 9h.
depend on how,
Cela aussi
what
dépendra
time I'm going to State House back.
de l'heure que
So SG is advising me that they have to purpose of tomorrow,
la secrétaire générale
then the plenary session starts at 10.
conseille parce que nous allons visiter le palais de
So
peuple.
after the right adjustment,
Le mieux que la séance commence à 10h.
it should
Donc, c'est
be
tout ce que je peux
10 and Thank you so much, Vice President.
Merci beaucoup, le vice-président.
Thank you.
Quels sont les propos et bonne soirée.